I'm Richard Lewis, reporting for cadred.org. I'm here with the young starlet and a big talking point in the UK StarCraft scene. It's Jonny REcco, now of Team Dignitas. We're going to come to the Dignitas move very shortly. First thing I want to ask you is just about kind of, you were at WCS, the UK qualifier. Nobody kind of knew who you were. They sort of knew you could play a little bit. Then all of a sudden, bam, you managed to take a really big scalp in the form of the Muslim. Beat several players that perhaps had a bit more experience than you, because you are just a young lad. What happened? What have you been doing? What have you been eating?
Nothing really. I've just been playing games, and then eventually I've got better to where I can beat other players.
But come on, going into WCS, were you thinking that you were just making up the numbers, or were you expecting to win things?
I wasn't expecting to win it, but I was expecting top 3. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Because no one else was. So what did you know that we didn't?
No, but I just knew that I could beat the other players that were there.
Talk me through your practice regime then. What do you do on a typical day? What makes you different from the other UK players?
I'm not sure really. I play a lot of ladder, but in some custom games, but I don't think anything really special.
Yeah. Has there been anything in terms of, I don't know, like maybe watching people play, things you're trying to implement? But you have to be doing something better than other people. That's what I'm trying to pin you down on. I'm trying to find out what it is.
Well, I did watch Stefano stream like a lot, and I really learned the game from him. And then I just try to like implement it into my own play. And I watched so much Stefano, so I guess that could be it.
When you beat the Muslim, what was going through your head? Because this is kind of a new and old kind of coming together. Like the Muslim's been around for like ever, and not just in StarCraft 2. And here you are, you know, new player on the scene, kind of dethroning him, even though we all know what happened later on and where he finished. Could you believe that? I mean, what was going through your mind at the time?
I don't know, going into it, I knew I could beat him. Like, I'd watched his stream so many times, and I just knew how he played. So I knew I was had a good chance at least going in it.
And no nerves? Because, I mean, even now we're doing this interview, you don't seem nervous. You seem quite perplexed by the questions I'm asking, as if I should just know that you're that good anyway. So where does all this confidence come from?
I just don't really think about it. I just go into the game, I play it, and then I move on to the next one. I don't really think ahead too much and worry about it.
Now that you're becoming a kind of big name in the scene, like everyone that I was asking about it was like, oh, he's going to surprise at Assembly. Are you already starting to feel that pressure, start to feel the difference, the change, because you're no longer the underdog?
No, not really. I don't feel like any pressure. I just, like I said, I just play the game and then see how it goes. I don't think about it. Has
it been a welcome change though, all the attention?
Yeah, it is nice to get like attention. So.
What has particularly changed then? Just in terms of attention, like I mean, more followers on Twitter, more people watching you stream. I mean, what's been the big change for you?
Well, like I've got tons of followers on Twitter now after WCS, and just like people talking about you on forums and all that.
What I want to focus on next is, I think this is a huge decision that you've made, and one that can't be underestimated. You've decided to kind of delay education, focus on StarCraft. Now, I'm not saying that's the wrong thing to do by any stretch. I'm definitely not judging the decision, but that's a big call, isn't it, for a 16-year-old?
Yeah, I think it's quite big of a thing.
Well, come on, you can't just repeat what I'm saying. Come on, talk me through it. I mean, how long did you spend on deliberating about it, thinking about it? Do you have any doubts? What was going through your mind when you wanted to make that call?
I don't know. I'd been going to college for a little while, and I'd been playing StarCraft the whole time. And then eventually I just kept thinking about it, and it's like I'd rather play StarCraft for just now than do the college.
Yeah, but I mean, everyone thinks that. Everyone would rather play games than go to college, or everyone would rather play games and do a lot of stuff. But it's not always viable. What makes you think a career in StarCraft is viable?
It was just I was able to beat like a lot of the pros that were around then, and then I thought if I could do that, then I can do it in tournaments and all that.
How did the parents take it? Like, again, I mean, and I really want you to give me as much detail as you can about the scenario. You know, mum, dad, college is a bit crap. I want to play games. That can't have gone over well, surely.
Well, to begin with, they were pretty annoyed that I'd left college to play StarCraft.
Had you told them before, though? Or was it a surprise?
I don't know, I didn't really tell them, but I just play StarCraft so much, I think they knew.
Right.
Yeah, and then, you know, eventually I just stopped going. And then played tons of StarCraft from there.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were kind of annoyed to begin with, but eventually they kind of went along with it a little bit more, and they're good with it now.
Did they understand esports before you broke the news, or did they just see it as like gaming, you know, like just playing in the living room or whatever?
Well, they knew you could kind of make a living out of it if you're good enough, but they never really knew that much about it, just very little.
Right. Okay. So you get snapped up by Team Dignitas. You've not only have you broke your parents' hearts by not going to college, you end up in probably an organisation where, I know there must have been other people taking a look at you. Was Team Dignitas the first offer, or was it just the best offer, or had you received no other offers?
There was a few offers, but how good Dignitas is, like, influenced the decision to go with them over the other teams.
Can you tell us who that might be, or are you keeping it secret?
It was Eclipsia who wanted to join, and there was another team, but I actually can't remember who they were just now.
Well, what was it like? Were there a lot of people like contacting you all of a sudden, like join us? I mean, was it a bit overwhelming and strange?
There was a few teams. Was kind of like a shock suddenly, all the teams like asking you to join. Yeah.
Were you being a? I'm looking at you and I'm looking at your answers. Were you being a bit? I can play this for all it's worth here. Were you trying to like negotiate big salaries or anything? That's a yes, by the way. If you hesitate on that question, that's a yes.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, just like with one team. Yeah.
But did it not quite happen, or?
It did, but I prefer Dignitas over the offer. Yeah.
What is it about Dignitas then that drew you to them? Was it the UK thing, the fact that they're UK based, with the UK manager, UK players, or was it just the kind of brand, or what was it particularly that made you think I want to be a Dignitas guy?
Well, always like the top teams I'd want to join was always going to be Dignitas, just because they're UK and they can really support you locally in that, and also because they're a big name. You know, it's good to like join Dignitas. And the players as well, like they're good practice as well. You can get.
Do you think you'll be able to learn a lot from the likes of Bling? Because he's been in a not dissimilar position to yourself when he came through the gamer search. He was the hot property and, you know, the little-known, you know, player who's now got a lot of fans, a lot of attention, very popular wherever he goes. Are you looking at kind of following those footsteps, or do you see yourself as a very different kind of animal?
I don't know. I think I'm quite different to Bling, so I don't really think I can follow the same path he's done. Yeah, you can take some things that he's done and then, you know, use them.
You don't strike me as someone who needs a lot of mentoring as such, though. But is that something that you're kind of looking for? I mean, you talked about learning to play the game from watching Stefano. Are you looking for someone who can maybe give you, you know, not necessarily an arm around the shoulder, but some pointers on how to handle all of this kind of attention and pressure?
Yeah, it's like, I think that's always good, you know, if someone can help you out with that. But I'm not looking, you know, for like tons of support on that, I guess.
So let's talk about this tournament. You were coming here, and as we've already established, everyone was expecting you to surprise and, you know, perhaps go all the way. People were getting hysterical. Things started out brightly for you, but in the end, you have gone out in the groups. How are you feeling about that? Obviously disappointed, but can you process it as being part of a learning curve?
I don't think so. I'm just quite annoyed that I lost.
You looked really pissed off, man, when it happened.
Yeah, I was quite bad actually.
Yeah.
I'm really annoyed.
So, but I mean, you have to understand that you're not gonna win straight away, right? I mean, you know that. Someone did tell you that was how it was going to be.
Yeah.
So, what have you taken from Assembly. I mean, right? I know it might be a bit too soon after the loss, but is there anything you can take positives that you're already starting to learn?
No, not really. No, I probably should, but just not just now. For a little while later.
Okay. In terms of the competition, have you given much thought to who you think will go on and win it? Because I think you're in a pretty good position to be able to judge, because obviously you spend a lot of time watching these players, even if you haven't had the opportunity to play against a lot of them. Who do you think's gonna do it?
I don't know. I really don't know. There's so much like good players here. It's hard to really tell who can take it because everyone's really good.
But if you had to,
I think MC.
A lot of people have been saying him. But do you not think recently his form's kind of dipped, and with all the travelling and everything?
I don't know. I might have, but I just think he's really good and he can take it.
What about dark horses, like people going under the radar, like you used to, before recent performances? Is there anyone who you think we should be maybe giving a bit more love and respect to?
No, I'm not really sure. Like, I don't really follow everyone. I follow the top few players that I like, and that I couldn't really say out of anyone.
So what's on the horizon for you now? I know a lot's going on. It's all happening very fast. But have you got any plans for the immediate future?
I've got like I-46 coming up, which I'll be at, and then after that I'll be at other stuff, but I'm just not sure on that yet.
And what about any stuff online? Are you going to be having a regular stream going? I know it's hard for UK players because we all get shit internet, but you got any plans in terms of making yourself more accessible to these new fans that you've acquired?
Well, I'm hopefully going to be streaming soon. It won't be like a top-notch stream because the internet's bad, but it'll be okay. I think like people can watch it.
Bit of 280, he'll be okay. 240, sorry. Well, it's been great talking to you, and it's very surprising to see you so confident and taking it in stride. I thought you might be a little bit overwhelmed, but not at all. So it's been great chatting to you. I'm sure you're going to do very well in the future. And to all the people out there at cadred.org, we're going to have more interviews like this one on the couch in the backstage players area from here at Assembly Summer.